Hey everyone, my name is Gil McBride, and this is Brad Glisson. We're co-founders of a company called ThoughtBlox. So with ThoughtBlox, our goal is to cultivate connected communities, and we do this by transforming mailing lists into engaged knowledge networks. So everyone here suffers from information overload. We're inundated with new info on a daily basis, whether that's through chat channels, inboxes, news feeds, you name it. And we can't exactly unplug from these different channels because our communities depend on using them to survive. We believe that fundamentally information is less useful when it lacks context. So ThoughtBlox is a platform that is trying to give context to information. So what is ThoughtBlox? ThoughtBlox transforms disjointed groups into engaged and active communities, and we do this by incentivizing knowledge sharing with advanced social networking. Communities are powered by individual voices sharing and communicating, and we make it possible for them to contribute to a growing body of knowledge. So how's it different? Email lists are often dependent on one or a few centralized people sending messages off into the nether, hoping that they reach the right audience. And group chats are dependent on different projects or participants belonging to the same organization. They create siloed off information. ThoughtBlox is a new way that, ThoughtBlox, let me get my notes here, excuse me. ThoughtBlox improves the way that we exchange resources within our communities. And we do this by creating distributed knowledge networks where members can share and find each other more directly. So how does it work? Members share and discover resources that move their work and passions forward. And they do this by creating posts in ThoughtBlox and adding category tags. These tags signal to people that are interested in those topics, and then they can easily discover the post in a noise-free dynamic feed. The content shared becomes a catalyst for connections, and what you know is now just as important as who you know, and this drives synergies beyond the usual networking. So now I'm going to let Brad quickly jump on our website, and he'll demo the actual functionality of the platform.
Yeah, thanks, Gil. All right, so Gil illustrated that one of the biggest problems that we have trying to share and actually grow knowledge within big groups is that so everyone in here could consider themselves a knowledge worker. That's to say that not only are you a part of your own firm or your own company or research group, but you're also embedded in multiple knowledge communities. So whether it's a startup community or a blockchain community or an audio hacker community, everyone in here is not just a part of their one business, but embedded in multiple spheres. So the problem is that when each of these emails go into your one inbox, you have this problem of, if you're in 12 big communities and all the emails hit one inbox, it just creates a bunch of noise, or it's hard to sort of retrieve or get back to that knowledge over time. And what results is that multiple people are not really empowered to share knowledge. It's really just the organizer. So I'll show you a little bit about ThoughtBlox and some of the design thinking that we took when building the platform. So let's see. All right, so I have a little demo account that I'll use to show what we're up to. And just need to all right, so I'll start with that. For every, let's see, you have not just one feed, you have multiple groups, and there's kind of a lag with the keyboard itself might be dead. I mean, all right, so can I? Yeah, I think the keyboard, wait, all right, that's good. All right, so, all right, so this may or may not be modeled after a certain organization, but we'll jump into this group called Lorem City Technology, and we see that we have a ton of posts all here in this feed, and what we do that's unique, so the second problem we solve is that we, a team of 5, have no problem using Slack. We use Slack every day to chat and communicate with each other, no worries. But what happens is that as groups get bigger and bigger and bigger, having thousands or tens of thousands of people try to put something into a chat feed or a social feed, it makes it almost impossible to actually retrieve that knowledge over time. So like Gil mentioned, information that we share with one another is only as good as it is retrievable. So we rethought this like treed or branched system that we grew up with. We grew up putting things in folders, no worries, put it in the cloud with a team, no worries, but putting something in a folder with a team, with a group of 20,000 people, it's going to be impossible for people to find stuff. So we built a new system that lets you take these categories on the side, which the whole group shares, and you're able to click not just one or two, but you can actually stack these up to 4 times, and what you get is that you're able to, with each time you impress one of these categories, it filters again. So you can imagine that this community with 20,000 people might have 10,000 posts in it, but for each category that you click, it might filter to 800, or you click a second one and 80, or a third and it goes to 12. So the ability to turn a feed of tens of thousands of posts into only the 12 or 15 that you really care about is what we do unique from any folder system. And it can be done in any order. I can click another one and filter again. So the second design choice that we made is that when you're reading a post, you're not going to see just like, all right, so I wish I could see the rest of this, but all right. So you're not going to see like just like this one chat feed where everything bleeds in together. This has a title, it has associated categories, and it has a body, and it has discussion that other people have shared with it. So it's just a cleaner way of like keeping the same thoughts together that actually make it findable over time. And all the attachments and related discussion are in the same place. And then finally, you're probably wondering like, yeah, it's cool you do all the tagging and filtering, but can you actually search? And you can. I'll also show that here's what like really makes it click. So it's different than Instagram or Twitter, where you come up with these like freehand, you type it out hashtags basically. So that has this unlimited domain of possible words that you use to tag something. And when you get that, it sort of dilutes the power of filtration. We try to hit this Goldilocks area of just the right amount of tags and filters so that people actually share the same lens.
Thank you.
Yeah, totally. All right, so yeah, just ask away anything you have. Yep.
Yeah, so I imagine one problem with this type of product is you want to get feedback from people who use it and rapidly change it to make it more usable. So what's your strategy in regards to that? Getting feedback and changing maybe the UI design to make it slicker and more fluid?
Sure. So we just have a feedback tool. So any end user can contact us and share like, hey, I really like this, but I couldn't find this. So there's that aspect of it, and then there's also the ability to just talk to the admins about which categories are being used here. So like in Slack, any admin can make channels, or anyone can make channels, and it's not that different that in ThoughtBlox, any admin can create categories. So they basically create this organizational or community lens on behalf of all the members, so that everyone's going to share like the same categories. Sure.
I'm unclear as to, is this something that is used by the public, or is this something that, or is this something that we would want to almost white label and have on our site for our community of users? What's the model?
The second one, it would be very specific to your organization, building out like a knowledge sharing network just for your own community, but on our platform.
And what's the pricing on it?
So right now, for like certain groups who we're partnering with, like in like these early stages, we're letting people try it out free for a month. But then later on, we're planning on doing like a per head model, and we're looking at between $1 and $3 per head.
Sure. So maybe the most straightforward integration that we have with email is that if you have a list of 15,000 people, you can just upload that entire CSV file to ThoughtBlox, and it'll instantaneously add all of those people to the same group. So it literally can do everything that a listserv does with the added ability of just making it thousands of times more retrievable over time, because it's all kept in the same group. And then further, it's kept in the same group, organized by categories that everyone shares. Yeah, and then we're further looking into other email integration tools.
Building on email integration, having an email to ThoughtBlox and then back to email to me is very helpful. Because a lot of people, myself included, I'm not a big fan of having to go to my content. I want it coming to me. But if you can leverage, if you can connect to people such as myself or Luddite, to people who want to go to their content, connect them together in one way.
And you can subscribe to specific categories within your groups, and then you'll get an email digest.
Okay.
Then I believe you had a question right there. Oh, that's okay. Did you have one?
I have a question, yeah.
Okay.
So, back to the question on business model in general. So, you've mentioned Slack many times. There's also, Google has an offering similar, that Microsoft has an offering similar. How are you envisioning that you're competing against them long term? Some of what you're doing, if it works, they could easily replicate. So how does that become right now you would be a niche for, single companies, but like how is the long-term protection of what you're trying to build going to be competitive against what's either already there or what can be there quite, with modifications?
Yeah, so I'll take a stab at that. Basically, how are we going to build a castle wall around Slack, or just not differentiate enough to not fear competing directly with them? So one thing that we say is that we never brand ourselves as a team platform. Slack is messaging, chat for teams, and we're knowledge exchange for massive organizations, massive communities. So whereas they can, like Slack, again, we use it every day. It's great for project management. It's not as much a networking tool for extremely big communities. So we do that we differentiate in two ways. By one, just not going after their same market. We need to convince one or two stakeholders in a big group that this will work for their members. And boom, we onboard 10,000 people, or we onboard 25,000 people. Second is that it's doing something new. It truly is doing something new than this tree system that we've always used with folders and with channels and chat. So it's not like you put knowledge in a bucket and then you have to go in that bucket and start scrolling. You put something in a matrix and you layer it with multiple categories so that as other people, even a year later, someone can click one category, two categories, a third maybe, and it's going to go to exactly sort of what they were looking for. They were looking for resources for machine learning and blockchain. And they click the three of those things, and they find this post that someone put from 18 months ago from this conference they went to, uploading there. So it's a way of actually truly growing organizational and community knowledge that won't get lost in chat or folders or email. Sure, all right, yeah, thanks.